It is always one of the cornerstone fixtures of any Premier League season. There's always spice, there's always plenty of goal scoring, and there is always drama. Today we hope for all of that and more as Liverpool and Newcastle once again open up a season against each other today at St. James's Park at full throat. It's a start of a new campaign after a shaky summer for the home side and an away team in Liverpool that looks to finally rebound. Two of the biggest underachievers of last season have a blank canvas to begin painting on today. From St. James's Park, we welcome you. Hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to Newcastle. Thanks for having us in for the match. What a day it should be. It is always so intriguing when these two meet up. They meet up to start the season this year. Of course, they met here at St. James's Park in match week 2 last year, and what an absolute thriller of a game that was. St. James's Park is the site for this matchup between Newcastle and Liverpool, their 65th all-time meeting in the Premier League. And of course, the backdrop today is also celebrating the life and the legacy that Kevin Keegan left on both of these squads. As we lost him earlier this year, both teams and the fans here honoring his life and legacy in the stadium here today. We take a look at the lineups for these two teams. You see with Newcastle, it's Lukasz Hornacek that starts in goal. The back four of Dedic, Shaw, Botman, and Hall. Anthony Elanga in the middle, along with Lewis Miley. New signees Sean Sturr gets in the lineup, along with Harvey Barnes. And up front, William Osula, who scored against Liverpool last year in that thrilling game here at St. James's Park, along with Yohan Wissa off of World Cup success this summer. For Liverpool, Alisson Becker, of course, in goal. New names like Frimpong and Jacquet. Virgil van Dijk still in the back, so too is Milos Kerkash. And then Dominic Szoboszlai with Ryan Gravenberch in the middle. The 17-year-old Rio Gamoa, who scored the winner very late here in St. James's Park last year with Florian Wirtz, Cody Gakpo, and the former Magpie Alexander Isak, winds out the starting lineup for Arne Slot as we get set to go, and it should be an intriguing, exciting day here at St. James's Park. Newcastle and Liverpool. There's nothing quite like this. It should be quite the day. So we get ready to go here at the home of Newcastle United. It has been a very turbulent summer for this Newcastle team. As mentioned, both of these teams underachievers last year. We are underway with Liverpool in their famous red and Newcastle in the black and white stripes. And immediately off the kickoff, a foul will give Liverpool a free kick. Liverpool fifth place finishers last year on 60 points. That was 4 spots lower and 24 points fewer than the previous season when they were the champions. Foul is actually on Liverpool, so Newcastle have a free kick, and they attack from our right to our left here in this first half. The black and white stripes of Newcastle with a white solid back of the shirt with black numbers and black shorts, and the free kick is scooped in towards the penalty area. It was headed up into the air, easily taken by Alisson Becker, who of course has been a mainstay in goal wearing the gloves for Liverpool since 2018, has led them to a Champions League title and 2 Premier League titles. He'll float it long up the far side, and Liverpool will attack from our left to our right. Ball hooked up into the middle. It comes down in the center circle for Dominic Szoboszlai, who was a part of that magical 100th minute goal here in this building in match week 2 of last season when Liverpool were up 2-0 and up a man. Then Newcastle fought back to even it at 2 before the late winner, the very late winner from Rio Gamoa. And here's Liverpool moving forward here through the sunshine in the middle of the field, edge of the D. It's laid off to the right side of the box. Florian Wirtz with a shot that was blocked, harpooned away up the near touchline and out as Newcastle can clear their lines. Jeremy Jacquet coming for the ball, and he gets knocked down on the halfway line. And it will be a throw for Newcastle. Well, as Liverpool were 4 spots and 24 points below what the 2024-25 season was for them, Newcastle was just as disappointing, if not worse. They finished 12th on 49 points, 7 spots, and 17 points fewer than the prior season. And for Newcastle now, there are so many questions and there are a lot of concerns after a summer where they lost a lot of enormous players and big names. Of course, before the summer, during last season, the drama between Alexander Isak leaving the club quite unceremoniously, and then joining Liverpool. He is in the lineup here tonight. Liverpool on the ball in their own half, and here is Jacquet, who signed in February but joined the Liverpool Football Club in the summer. Up the near side for Rio Gamoa, the teenage superhero from this fixture a year ago. Squares it back for Frimpong. Now it's back to Jacquet. Those are 2 new names for this Liverpool squad, Jacquet and Frimpong. Frimpong, who scored in one of the preseason games, ladles it into the middle, and Gravenberch is into the edge of the penalty area, lays it off to his left, was perhaps a bit too unselfish, and Newcastle not only clear away, but they come forward, galloping ahead as William Osula. He's played it in behind and into the area for the right. A shot is on, and Anthony Alenga scores! And Newcastle score very quickly here! On the front foot immediately! And despite the shaky summer, it is a stirring start for Newcastle United. They have bitten Liverpool on the counter, and Anthony Alenga has scored the goal. And what a terrific start for this Newcastle club, with so many question marks, questions and concern surrounding this team. But at the start of the season, everyone has hope, everyone has belief, and it's just been pumped through the thousands of souls inside St. James's Park here. Anthony Alenga, who did not score in the league last season, has scored here. Right-footed shot, right side of the penalty area. And Matthias Jaisla, the new man in charge at Newcastle, look to the fans and salute Newcastle supporters. What a start. Liverpool restart play. From our left to our right, they go in the red shirts, white numbers, white nameplates, and red shorts. And a ball slid towards Wirtz. Is too far for him, and it's out to the right of Lukasz Hornicek's goal for a goal kick. Could not have asked for a better start for this Newcastle team that struggled so mightily in the summer of retaining players. Anthony Gordon now at Barcelona, Bruno Guimaraes now at Arsenal, Kieran Trippier left on a free transfer to Wolves, Matt Targett on a free transfer to Hull. We know about the Alexander Isak soap opera of last season. And boy, does that have to feel good for Newcastle supporters to see Isak on the pitch wearing red, and for Newcastle to be ahead of Isak's Liverpool. Liverpool on the ball here. As they now chase this game, they gave up many more goals last year than they're used to conceding. And they're behind here early. Here's Frimpong moving it into the middle. Shaded area on the right side of the pitch here on a just after 4:30 local time kickoff. Here's Gravenberch, who played so much in the World Cup for Netherlands. Slots it up the middle, Dominic Szoboszlai. Rolls it out wide on the right-hand side, Florian Wirtz gets it ahead. Frimpong is in deep. He cuts it back to the top of the box. No red shirt there. And Newcastle able to clear, only as far as Jacquet. Angles it out to his right. Here's Florian Wirtz, second-year Liverpool player, teasing ball in. It was hooked high into the sky as Newcastle attempted to clear. Harvey Barnes is called for a foul as he knocked over Wirtz on the outside. Tried to climb over Wirtz and got him hard. So a free kick coming here for Liverpool. Szoboszlai is over it. This is only about 25 yards away from goal. Out wide in the near right channel. Left hand up in the air from Szoboszlai. Delivers right-footed to the back post, and the header is over the bar from Virgil van Dijk, the towering figure in the middle. Liverpool claiming that it's last gone off of a Newcastle head and that it should be a corner. We'll wait and see if... Oh, yes, it has. Van Dijk was the first to contact it, but it glanced off of a Newcastle head. So it is a corner for Liverpool, and from the far flag, another set-piece opportunity. From the far flag, right-footed in-swinging delivery to the top of the six. Fabian Schär got up to, headed it away. And it's Kirkash who will reset for Liverpool on the far side. Ball is popped in towards the penalty spot. Defensive header by Botman wasn't away. It came free for a shot by Gakpo that was rubbed out. And Sean Sturr will get it away for Newcastle as he's able to flip it up the far touchline. It's out of play on the far side. So Liverpool chasing this game. We mentioned right off the top how this is a fixture that in the past a lot of goals get scored between Newcastle and Liverpool. The goal scored by Anthony Elanga in the first 5 minutes of this game, the 201st all-time Premier League goal in a Newcastle-Liverpool fixture. The only other fixture in Premier League history that has produced more goals is Liverpool and Spurs. They've created 209. This one not too far behind it. As this ball sent up the far side, Kirkash gets taken down, and a foul will go against Newcastle here. Kirkash lying on his back. William Osula helps him up. Osula, of course, scored his first career goal against Liverpool in the meeting between these two, match week 2 at St. James's Park last year. He made it 2-2 late. Liverpool, of course, went on to get the late winner from Rio Gamoa to win it 3-2, a 100th minute goal from Gamoa. As the free kick will be taken by Allison on the far side to the left of his penalty area. He'll thump it long. Flicked on by Yohan Wissa. Great World Cup that he had. He tries to get the ball onto the right of the center circle, but he gets helicoptered down. Scored 3 goals in the World Cup, 1 against Portugal, 2 against Uzbekistan, as his DR Congo team made it to the knockout round. Newcastle with a free kick to restart play, and Barnes has spun it up the left-hand side. Lewis Hall will try to run this down, and he got to it before Gamoa. Hall on the near touchline towards the corner flag, twisting and turning, trying to wriggle free. He spotted Barnes into the box from the left, lost it, got it back, out to Wissa, then back for Hall again. And now reverse back to the halfway line, and Newcastle will do a total restart here as Sven Botman will play it back to Lukasz Hornacek, preferred in goal over Nick Pope for this opening game of the season. Hornacek signed only 20 days ago to this Newcastle club. He's been in Portugal with Braga over the last 5 years. Over the top ball up the middle. Allison came out to head it away. He got shouldered down. There's a foul. And it'll be a free kick for Liverpool. He was aggressive there to try to come out and get it before the crashing in Osula. Free kick taken, and Jacquet will bring it forward for Liverpool. Down by a goal to nil, as you see. And having to chase this game right from the outset. Ahead for Isak, who was signed, of course, by Liverpool early last season, a £125 million fee, which was made him the third most expensive transfer of all time. It was a British record fee. Jacquet in the center circle, looks forward, plays it ahead. Verts out wide on the right-hand side. Gamoa tries to run this down, but that pass too far for the 17-year-old to run down. It's over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Newcastle, who have stunned Liverpool early with a cataclysmic counter. William Osula assisting the goal scored by Anthony Elanga. Speaking of World Cup success, even though there wasn't World Cup success for his Swedish squad, he did score twice in the World Cup this summer, including against Virgil van Dijk, Cody Gakpo in Netherlands. Ball all the way back to Alisson. Lifts it up the middle. Lewis Miley with a header back. But Liverpool's got possession, and up the right-hand side comes Frimpong, inside right channel, tried to play it out wide for Gamoa, but that's been spotted and picked off by the Newcastle defense. Now a long diagonal ball from left to right, too far for Elanga to run down this time. He did have a step on Kirkash. Be a throw for Liverpool from deep in their own territory, and Elanga wants teammates to get down quickly to defend this throw from very deep back. Hoisted in the direction of Gakpo, but it goes out off of him. It was banked off of him by Amar Dedic. And it'll be Dedic to take the throw as Newcastle gains some field position in that sequence. Dedic tosses in the direction of Wisa, and then he got taken down. There was no foul, even though Newcastle players had their arms in the air. Kirkash will flip it out to the middle of the field. Newcastle's back on it, however, with Lewis Hall. Scored at Man City last year, his lone Premier League goal. Here's a ball skipped forward up the middle. Hoping for Elanga was Hall, but it's well too far for him and grabbed by Alisson, who's kept 104 Premier League clean sheets. He won't make it 105 today. He only had 8 a year ago. Plays it with his feet outside of the penalty area. Blasted up the middle in the direction of Alexander Isak. It's broken up away from him, but Verts gets to it. Liverpool in possession. Gakpo between two defenders. Has it knocked away by Dedic, and then a foul by Gakpo trying to get it back. Dedic took the free kick extremely quickly to Elanga, who races up this far right side. Anthony Elanga on the overlap. A return for Dedic. Dedic stands outside right channel. Rolls the ball back to the halfway line. Sean Sturr, who came over in the summer for Newcastle, signed a 5-year deal in July. He comes from Ajax in his native Holland. Here's Lewis Hall at the halfway line near left side. Reverse back for Botman. He feels some pressure from Isak, so it's directed back to Hornacek, the goalkeeper, wearing yellow. And he'll roll it up the middle for Malik Chow. And Newcastle will start again from the halfway line. Sturr places it forward. It's picked off by Gakpo. On the intercept, he'll charge forward. He's found Gamoa in space on the right-hand side. That space quickly taken away by Lewis Hall, who backpedaled quickly. Gamoa has to backpedal and play it back out wide on the right-hand side. Jeremy Frimpong and Gamoa, two of the young Liverpool players, will play catch here on the perimeter about 50 yards from goal. Now it's Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai with that lovely dummy that led to the Gamoa goal in the 100th minute of this fixture a year ago. From the halfway line, played back to Alisson. 17th minute we play, and Newcastle lead by a goal to nil. Anthony Elanga scoring almost from the jump Here's Liverpool moving forward here, and it is Gamoa from the right of the penalty area. Stops with two defenders in front of him. Cuts out wide to his right, opens up, flares across to the back post in the direction of Isak. It went over his head, but Dedic couldn't stop it. Isak will get back to it on the far touchline from the left of the penalty area. Top left corner of the box, he'll twirl. Two defenders around him. Isak with Alenga now coming towards him. He'll play it back out wide on the left. Ball is fizzed in towards the penalty spot, and it's shot towards the net by Florian Wirtz, and a good diving save by Hornacek, who got an arm to it to steer it away. That ball was fizzed in, a bouncer in the direction of Gakpo, but it ended up finding Wirtz off the deflection. And it needed saving from Hornacek, and he was able to direct it away from the near flag of corner. Szoboszlai on the delivery to the top of the six. It was intended for Van Dijk, as it normally is. He didn't get to it. It's come to the left side of the box, and a shot is flared high and off target by Kirkesh. Goal kick for Newcastle. An early lead for the Magpies here at St. James's Park. Very emotionally charged day, as it normally is when these two play each other. One of the cornerstone fixtures of every Premier League season. Ball quickly back in possession of Liverpool as Van Dijk steered it on. Allison played it long up the middle. Defensive header away by Miley. It fell for Sturr. Newcastle back in possession at the halfway line. Now played back into their own territory. Chow will roll it back to Hornacek. So we're just about 20 minutes in, and it was a fifth-minute goal from Anthony Alenga that got Newcastle up 1-0. A lead that they look to protect now. From the halfway line on the far side, it's Dedic. Rolled back for Miley. Scored a Champions League group phase goal last year for Newcastle at Bayer Leverkusen. Scored 3 times last season, just once in the Premier League. Here's Hall up the near touchline. That's intercepted. Comes to Isak. He gives it right back away on his pass intended for Szoboszlai that was picked out by Miley. But then Newcastle's given it away very quickly. And here's Kirkesh charging into the edge of the D. He clatters into the body of Alenga, who ends up on the deck. And that's a foul on Kirkesh. Third and final game on this Premier League Sunday. And match week 1 will close out tomorrow night with some Monday night football, which we'll have here on the channel for you, as you see, bottom right of your screen, when Fulham host Chelsea. Free kick for Newcastle just outside of their penalty area to the right of the D. The goalkeeper, Hornacek. He'll roll it out to his right. And Newcastle will start again. Bump on the far side by Gakpo against the ball handler, Dedic. It's out off Gakpo. Dedic will throw in as we're about to eclipse the 20-minute mark. Dedic throws in. Tried to get it on a return from Alenga, but that was picked off. Liverpool attempt to clear, struggling to do so. It's dropped instead for Wissa, and then he's called for a foul. Of course, Brighton earlier today, 4-0 winners, as they just thumped Aston Villa. It was 4-0 in basically half an hour. And Man City with a come-from-behind victory over Bournemouth, setting the table for this most enticing fixture here as Gravenberch comes up the right-hand side, plays it out wide. Gakpo left it, and from the end line it's cut back, and it goes off the keeper, Hornacek, and it's cleared away by Wissa as Hornacek stabbed the cutback attempt. And Wissa well placed. Now Van Dijk on a reload. Out to his right for Szoboszlai, middle of the field. Takes a couple of small steps forward. Chips the ball up the near touchline. Handled by Gamoa. 2 defenders around him. He spun off the ball by Hall. Hall with Gamoa trying to get it back. Played it on for Barnes, and Newcastle's able to clear. Bounces around in the middle of the field. Might come to Wissa. Left of the center circle it does. He has to shoulder off Szoboszlai. Newcastle not only able to clear, but able to do so with possession, and now Chow will reset it. Out to his right for Sean Sturr. Malik Chow again. Big, strong German, 4 times a scorer in the league last season. Came over to Newcastle at the start of last season from AC Milan. Here's Lewis Miley. Miley with an aerial ball diagonally from left to right. He's trying to pick out Elanga. He has. Now into the penalty area comes Dedic, and his shot was blocked. It'll be a corner for Newcastle as Dedic took it in from the right of the box. And Newcastle will have a corner here. Good defending by Kirkesh. Able to get that right foot out there. So a corner that Lewis Hall will go over to the far flag to take. Just about midway through this first half. "21-year-old Lewis Hall places the ball down. 6 now 7 Newcastle players in the penalty area. Hall left-footed delivery, top of the 6. Thumping header away by Cody Gakpo defensively. Comes out top of the box 30 yards away from goal. Here's Harvey Barnes now. He has it steered to him on the near touchline. Has to race away from the challenging Frimpong. Played back to the halfway line. Dedic tried to scoop it forward. It was not to a black and white striped shirt, but Newcastle do get possession back, but it's all the way to Hornicek. And Sean Sturr will start the pilgrimage back ahead. Ahead for Miley wearing the number 67. Sven Botman on the near touchline. Lewis Hall the return. Botman up the left-hand side. A challenge by Frimpong to take the ball away. He has. It's landed to Isak. He's tripped up by Hall. Isak still down. There was no whistle. Isak, who missed so much time with injury last year, of course. A fibula fracture and an ankle injury kept him out so much of last season. Here's Wisa up the inside left channel. He's played it in, and this is trouble for Liverpool here. Falling down was Asula as he tried to get the ball contacted by Allison. And Allison's able to get back up and grab the ball as Asula made a great run up the middle. Good ball to him from Wisa. And that could have been real trouble for Liverpool, and Allison again. Asula fell down. Ball got behind him and Allison. And Asula trying to scramble back up to his feet quickly. Unable to get to it. And in the end, a goal kick. Allison will roll it out, and Virgil van Dijk will start the Liverpool attack again. 25th minute. Here's Frimpong, space on the right-hand side to run across the halfway line into Newcastle territory. Plays it ahead for Isak, touch back for Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai towards the edge of the D. He's pulled down by Wisa, the Newcastle number 9. That's a foul, and it's a yellow card as well. As Wisa grabs Szoboszlai from behind, pulled him down. And the first booking goes to Wisa. Dangerous area for a Liverpool free kick. Szoboszlai, who is able to hit these free kicks extremely well. He scored on 4 direct free kicks in the Premier League last season. So the only 4 that Liverpool scored directly from a free kick. And when they get a free kick, it's more than likely going to be Szoboszlai over it. So Hornicek gets his defense set in front of him. This is right of the D. 28 yards away from goal, let's say. Dedic lies on the ground. He's got 4 in the wall in front of him. And Dominik Szoboszlai will try to thump Liverpool level. 25-year-old Hungarian who scored goals against big clubs last season, goes for it here, but it's into the leaping wall. It'll deflect right back to Szoboszlai, who out to his right will spin, corkscrew, keep the ball alive, tried to play it inside for Gamoa. That's taken away, and Newcastle are off the other way. Here's Asula. He's got space but no support. 3 Liverpool red shirts starting to surround him. Asula trying to take them all on. Now he's left it for Wisa, who gets there, lays it out to his left. Harvey Barnes, it was in front of him just a bit, had to take it wide and had it knocked free by Szoboszlai. It's out for a Liverpool throw. Trying to catch him on the counter again. Just not enough bodies moving forward. Now Liverpool Bring it back the other direction. Here's Gravenberg, space up the inside right channel, crosses the halfway line, angles it to his left. Florian Wirtz out wide, left of the D. Cody Gakpo a shot, and that's blazed into a Newcastle body. Ricochets back outside the penalty area, but still in Liverpool possession. Wirtz will steer it out wide to the left. Kirkesh for Gakpo, top left corner of the penalty area. On his right foot he holds, he scans, he probes. Back out Kirkesh, return for Gakpo, left of the penalty area, pops the ball into the back post. Awkward defensive header away by Hall, came to the top of the box. Racing for it and trying to get a space to shoot was Frimpong, but he never could direct it goalward. Newcastle clear to the top of the center circle. Virgil van Dijk on a reload. Szoboszlai slides it in. Here's Frimpong again. First touch showed it too much to Botman, and Botman cranks it out to the halfway line. Van Dijk is there to shield it away from any Newcastle counter. Comes back to Szoboszlai again. Placed to the inside, and now Szoboszlai on a quick return from Florian Wirtz. Szoboszlai will angle a ball, an aerial flip out wide on the left-hand side, taken by Gakpo. He takes on Dedic. Gakpo to the end line, makes a cut, loses the handle. It's picked up instead by Anthony Elanga, the fifth-minute goal scorer, and he will elevator it out of danger. Van Dijk will chest it down, 40 yards away from goal. Still in Liverpool possession here. Long spell of possession from the champions from 2 years ago. Szoboszlai up the middle, he's 30 yards from goal. Out to his right, Gamoa. He's got space, the teenager. He'll turn 18 next Saturday. Tries to toss one to the top of the box. It's taken away. Miley has it. He gets taken down. That's a foul. Free kick for Newcastle. They survived that elongated Liverpool attack. Closing in on the half-hour mark. 58% possession for Liverpool is the number we've just been given. Newcastle on the ball. Splintered up the middle, taken away by Gravenberg. Now here comes Liverpool on it. Jacquet out to his right. Kirkesh charging into the area from the left, and a long-range shot is easily seen by Hornacek, and he'll grasp it. No problem there for the Czech keeper. Of course, Liverpool has not lost to Newcastle in the league for a long, long time. Going to have to come from behind to keep that going as Elanga gets pulled down and fouled by Kirkesh, just shy of the halfway line right of the center circle, and the yellow card is pulled out and shown to Kirkesh. So a couple of yellow cards handed out by the referee, Stuart Atwell. Kirkesh and Wisa have seen yellow cards in the first half hour. 12 combined fouls in the first 30 minutes as here's Newcastle on the ball, finding space up the middle. Harvey Barnes, and he gets tripped up as he and Frimpong came entangled. That's a foul on Frimpong, and Stuart Atwell's got the yellow card out again with his left hand. He'll show it to Frimpong, the young Dutchman. And that's 2 yellow cards in less than a minute against Liverpool there as Barnes had space to gallop up the middle. He and Frimpong entangled feet. It's yellow to Frimpong. Free kick for Newcastle, and this will come edge of the D. Pretty much a straight-on look at goal, maybe slightly slanted to the right. But this is certainly an enticing opportunity for Newcastle. A half hour complete at St. James's Park. A 5th-minute goal from Anthony Elanga has Newcastle in front. Allison gets the wall set in front of him. He's in front of the goalpost to his left. Now moves back towards the middle. Osula is over this along with Hall. 4 in the wall for Liverpool, plus 1 on the ground. Here's Osula. He'll charge over it. He'll take it right-footed into the wall. Deflects back to him. Now left-footed a shot. Took a deflection from Szoboszlai. Wide to Allison to his left. It'll be a corner off the number 8 of Liverpool last. So a corner coming from the free kick to a corner for Newcastle. From the far flag, Hall was the one that delivered their last corner. He's over there here. 6 for Newcastle in the penalty area. Hall swings it in left-footed towards the near post. The imposing figure that Van Dijk is heads it away, comes back to the right of the penalty area. Hall has Verts against him, and he stabs it away. Ball is free, and Verts has it. Florian Verts plays it up the left-hand side, and now Liverpool could catch them on a counter of their own here. Ball is played along the middle, out wide to the right. Now it's Frimpong on it. Frimpong tried to roll a ball in. That was blocked by Sturr, and Newcastle are on it. Here's Johan Wissa. Plays it back. Reset for Harvey Barnes. Newcastle defending well. Of course, they gave up a lot of goals to Liverpool last season across the 2 meetings. 7 goals they gave up. And a back pass there by Sturr, and not looking for it was Chow, and it's gone out of play on the far side. Liverpool throw will come from the left of the penalty area. Thrown in towards the end line, and Verts couldn't secure it. That's out for a goal kick, and that gets holler out of the Newcastle fans. Yes, Liverpool scored 7 in the 2 league meetings against Newcastle last year. The 3-2 win for Liverpool at St. James's Park in match week 2. And then after being down 1-0, they came back to win 4-1 over Newcastle at Anfield. Botman rolls it out to his left for Hall. Playing out of the back here, Newcastle. Hall has nearly had it taken away, and he has by Nagoa. And Gamoa will play it along to Gravenberch. Then a return for Szoboszlai. Gravenberch was taken down. That's a foul, and this will be another yellow card. This will be the 4th booking of this first half, 2 on each team, as Gravenberch was hacked down by Lewis Miley, and it's Miley who's given the yellow by Stuart Atwell. So free kick for Liverpool. Szoboszlai inside right channel, right of the D, 25 yards from goal, left hand in the air. Right-footed delivery, defensive header loops back out. Left of the D handled by Kirkash. He'll angle out wide to his right with Wissa pushing him out wide. Wissa defends it away, and it's off Kirkash last. It'll be a Newcastle throw. Match week 1 of the Premier League season comes to a close tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. in England. It's Craven Cottage, the place for Fulham as they host Chelsea. It'll be on the channel tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Newcastle throw. Sturr hooks it into the middle. It comes down to Elanga. Elanga in the middle of the field. Tried to look out to his left. He got taken down by Szoboszlai. And that's another foul. Foul-filled first half. Newcastle take their free kick quickly with Wissa picking himself up off the floor. Botman at the halfway line. Slots the ball ahead. Van Dijk is there to get to it before Osula. And Virgil van Dijk patrolling the back line for Liverpool as he has for such a long time now. Carefully plays it away to Gravenberch. 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in this first half. And Newcastle lead. Given to them by Anthony Elanga in the 5th minute on a clinical counter. Jeremy Jacquet, inside right channel, spins away from Miley. Locates Szoboszlai. Dominic Szoboszlai from the right of the center circle. The return for Jacquet, who's played in France for the last 4 seasons. Now Gamoa on this right-hand side. On the near touchline, Gamoa looks for a cross. He didn't hit it well, and instead it goes right to Hornacek, who easily grabs it. No red shirts in front of him. He'll pick it up after he feels some pressure from Isak. Mentioned it's been a long time since Liverpool has lost a league game to Newcastle. It's been 11 years. As this ball floated up the far side, Osula, scissor kicked out by Van Dijk. Newcastle throw, December 6th, 2015. The last time Newcastle beat Liverpool in the Premier League. That's 19 straight since then. Premier League matches between these two. Liverpool have won 14. There's been 5 draws. Newcastle on the ball from the halfway line near left side. Lewis Hall Left foot on the ball, looks forward, 2 defenders in front of him. He'll skip it forward for Miley. Lewis Miley lays it into the penalty area from the left. Barnes tried to get to it, held back by Frimpong, and well done by Frimpong as it goes out wide of Allison to his right for a goal kick. And Liverpool will start again. Arne Slot, of course, the manager of Liverpool, and the new Newcastle manager is Matthias Jaisla, as Liverpool has it coming back the other way. Off the goal kick, they've gotten it up quickly. Ball is popped towards the top of the box for Szoboszlai, kept away from him. It drops for Gravenberch. Gravenberch out to his right. Up the middle, Szoboszlai feeds it for Isak. One touch back to Frimpong. Out wide on the right, Gamoa. Right of the penalty area, the 17-year-old. Just one defender in front of him this time. A reversal, Frimpong loads it up. Teasing ball into the back post. It was awkwardly dealt with by Dedic. It's over for a goal, for a corner, as Dedic just had to do what he could when it arrived to him. And a third Liverpool corner coming here as we close in on the end of the 38th minute. Far flag as Van Dijk comes forward, of course. Always a threat to score in these situations. From the far flag, it's in. Gakpo got his head to it, and it just sizzled off of a Newcastle body and out again. It'll be another corner that Szoboszlai will take. Gakpo got to it. In the end, it's off Botman. Szoboszlai again. From the far flag, left hand in the air. Szoboszlai gets ready. Right-footed delivery, in-swinger to the near post. Well defended. Alenga thumped it away with his head. Liverpool will reload. Here's Florian Wirtz out wide on the right. Cuts it back against the grain. Gravenberch up the middle, delivers a ball in that took a deflection, and that bounced it away from his target, Isak. Hornacek holds it. Newcastle avoids and survives that Liverpool attack. It's a 1-0 lead here. As the ball is lifted up the middle, Van Dijk heads it down. It comes to Wissa running up this left channel. Got some space. Gamoa trying to get back. Hands it off. Alenga directed it back to Wissa. Never got to him, however. Frimpong couldn't clear it away, though. It's Alenga reversing it. Miley 40 yards away from goal on the near left touchline. Lewis Hall. Szoboszlai pressures him, and Hall just dribbles it out of play. Szoboszlai takes the throw in very quickly, and Liverpool try to get back forward. Isak up the middle, kept away from him by Chow, and he feeds it out of play on the far side. It'll be a Liverpool throw. '40th minute. And Liverpool try again. Jacquet at the halfway line. Crosses into Newcastle territory. Plays catch with Szoboszlai. Now he'll roll it up the middle towards no one in particular, but Gravenberch's got it back after it was picked off, and Gravenberch takes an effort from distance. It's blocked by Botman. That ball spinning and bouncing towards the far flag. Dedic has banked it off of Gakpo, an out goal kick. .40 minutes complete, and a 5th-minute goal from Anthony Alenga has Newcastle in front by 1-0. Alenga getting a goal in the Premier League, which he did not do in 32 appearances in the league last season. They will have to rely on him much more this season with all that they have lost over the summer, as we mentioned earlier, with Anthony Gordon, Bruno Guimaraes, Kieran Trippier, Matt Targett. As Van Dijk knifes it back into Newcastle territory, hooked back the other way by Botman, headed on by Jacquet, comes to the halfway line on the far side. Florian Wirtz kept away from the ball by Sturr. It's gone out on the far side. Newcastle throw. We'll run through all the results from this first weekend of the Premier League season at halftime. Look ahead to tomorrow's game between Fulham and Chelsea, and what's to come in match week 2 of the season. That coming up at halftime, which is only a few minutes away, as you see. Hornacek, the goalkeeper for Newcastle, has it at his feet, steers it along to his left. Sven Botman returns it. Hornacek will now swing it forward up the middle of the field. Defensive header away by Frimpong. Drops in the center circle. Gravenberg tried to sidestep Visa. Those two have a coming together. Foul is on Visa, who already has been booked in this first half. Puts his hands up in the air as he looks to Stuart Atwell, as if to say, "Oh, I didn't do anything there." There was contact. And Liverpool take the free kick quickly with Szoboszlai just inside the halfway line, right of the center circle. Directs it back for Jacquet. Up the middle, Frimpong. He has it knocked away. Lewis Miley's got it. Pressurized by Szoboszlai. He gets an outlet forward, and wow, there's a takedown by Gakpo from behind on Alenga. Alenga was starting to hit the accelerator. Gakpo came from behind. Nasty challenge. Foul on Gakpo, who walks away from Alenga and peers back at him over his left shoulder. Free kick will come in the center circle for Newcastle. In the black and white stripes, as usual. And Wisa takes the free kick and reverses it back. It's Sven Botman on it now. Penultimate minute of the 45 here. Botman under a walking stance at the halfway line. No real Liverpool pressure around him. Now he'll turn it back, and now some pressure does start to come as it's fed on to Miley. Connected forward for Hall. Hall will reverse field, play it back to Chow. And then for Hornacek, some pressure comes from Verts, who's into the penalty area, but Hornacek will lift it over the top in the direction of Alenga. It was away from him. It's flipped back up the far side. Wisa fighting for it along with Gakpo, and it comes back to Wisa from the right of the D. Tried to chip a ball in. It deflected to Wisa again, and he's cut it all the way through the penalty area from right to left, beyond Osula, beyond Barnes, and out. So a goal kick as Wisa put that a long way along the carpet. Final minute of the 45. Allison sends it long. It's flicked up the far side. It's going to come to Isak here. Two defenders around him immediately, and he's shoved down to the floor by Chow, his former teammate. They weren't teammates for very long. Malik Chow called for the foul. Free kick for Liverpool out wide on the left-hand side inside that touch line. And Szoboszlai over it again. Everyone for Liverpool queuing up right at the edge of the penalty area. And Van Dijk is in there again. There is some space to put in a good ball here from Szoboszlai. And we know he's good at this. With his right foot, he'll skip it in. Defensive header away by Dedic. It comes back out on the far side. Szoboszlai lets it roll out. He takes a quick throw in for Kirkesh. Back for Szoboszlai. He'll serve another ball in. It's in the direction of Gakpo. It kept bouncing away from him, and it's taken by Hornacek. There's a Newcastle player down, lying on his stomach in the penalty area. It's Botman who is down. He was the one trying to box out Gakpo. Just a single minute of stoppage time before halftime comes, and more than likely this will be a 1-0 game heading to the locker room as Hornacek takes the goal kick, sends it long up the left-hand side. Barnes flicked it into the middle. It popcorns around. Barnes couldn't get it a second time. Instead, Frimpong flares it up the middle, drops for Isak, steered away from Hall, but too far for Gamoa. It's out on the near side. And that might take us to halftime here. Not yet. Hall will take a throw. And now Referee does blow for halftime. So halftime here at St. James's Park, and a 5th-minute goal from Anthony Alenga has Newcastle in front. Counter-attack goal, and what a well-taken goal it was. And it's Newcastle ahead of Liverpool, trying to beat them in the league for the first time in 11 years. Long way to go. They know that well after playing them the 2 times the way they did last year and how those games went, but they are certainly hoping that this will be the day where they can finally knock off Liverpool. So halftime at St. James's Park, and Newcastle with the lead. And Liverpool will have to find a way to make it happen in the second half. Start of the season for both of these teams, trying to rebound off of what was very disappointing seasons for both last year. Newcastle had been on a run of top 7 finishes, including 5th in the 2024-25 season, but 12th last year for this club that has certainly had a roller coaster ride of emotion the last few years, that's for sure. And still some drama left in this game, it would seem, because you had 4 bookings, I think about 15 fouls in that first half. So there's a lot still to be had from this game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Match week 1 of the Premier League season will come to a close tomorrow. That's, of course, Fulham hosting Chelsea, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Seth Eves will have the call for you tomorrow for some Monday Night Football to roll through what we have seen so far in week 1 of the season. Of course, it started with the champions Arsenal hosting the champions of the championship, Coventry City, on Friday night at the Emirates, and it was all Arsenal. Kai Havertz scored in the 15th minute. Bukayo Saka, less than 10 minutes later, made it 2-0. Martin Odegaard got one early in the second half to put it to bed. A 3-0 Arsenal win over Coventry City. An impressive performance from not only the reigning champions, but the favorites, heavy favorites, to repeat. That's how the season started. Then yesterday, first full day of action from the league, started with a surprise. Hull City with a 2-0 win at home over Manchester United. Another difficult start to a season for United, but the story is newly promoted Hull, who 2 seasons ago was very nearly relegated to the 3rd tier of English football, to League One. But they survived after surviving relegation on goal difference 2 seasons ago, promoted last season to the Premier League, and now 2-0 winners. Semi Ajayi had the first goal. Noble Mendy scored in the 38th minute, and they held off United with amazing defending. It was a 2-0 final. It was also 2-0 with Everton at home, beating Crystal Palace. Kieran Dewsbury Hall in the 42nd minute scored, then Tierno Barry in the 53rd minute. Everton 2 better than Crystal Palace. Ipswich, newly promoted Ipswich, scored a victory yesterday in their first game back in the league in a long, long time. Just as Hull beat Manchester United, it was Ipswich winning late. 90th minute goal from Jack Clark gave Ipswich a win 2-1 over Sunderland. What a big win that was, and what scenes it was at Portman Road as Ipswich knocked off Sunderland. Leeds got a late winner as well to beat Nottingham Forest by 1-0. 88th minute goal giving Leeds the win there. And then, as you heard on the channel, Brentford picked Tottenham apart Spurs looked very slow, very lackadaisical, very clumsy, and it was Brentford with a 3-0 victory. Keane Lewis-Potter scored in the 12th minute. It was 2-0 before halftime thanks to Vitaly out, and 4 minutes into the second half, Michael Coyote scored, and Brentford really bullied Tottenham the entire game, as for both Manchester United and Spurs, who had such tough seasons last year and then promising summers, their new campaign got off to really terrible starts. Then today, 2 games earlier, Brighton picked Aston Villa apart. It was 4-0 basically after half an hour. A Victor Lindelof own goal started the scoring in the 8th minute. Max de Kuiper scored in the 18th. Then Jack Hinshelwood scored in back-to-back minutes, 30th and 31st minute goals from him. It was 4-0 Brighton, and Aston Villa then had João Gomez sent off in the 40th minute. It ended 4-0. Brighton brilliant to start their new season. Then Manchester City, first time in over a decade that they entered a game without Pep Guardiola steering the ship. And they fell behind early. Marcus Tavernier scored in the 26th minute to put Bournemouth ahead, and it took a long time for City to equalize, but Mark Gahey gave it to him in the 84th minute, and then in the first minute of stoppage time, Joško Vardiol, who was initially flagged offside, they took a look at it, said he was onside. He scored the goal. City wins it coming from behind to beat Bournemouth 2-1. That's what's happened in the Premier League on the first weekend of the season. Again, it's halftime here, as you see, with Newcastle leading Liverpool 1-0, 45 minutes left in this one, and then Fulham hosts Chelsea tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Match Week 2 starts Friday at 3 o'clock. Crystal Palace play host to Manchester City at Selhurst Park. Palace off the 2-0 loss to Everton. City coming off that come-from-behind victory today over Bournemouth. That's how Week 2 starts on Friday. The slate on Saturday starts at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Liverpool play their home opener at Anfield against Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth host Everton. Coventry and Hull, 2 newly promoted squads, will joust. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff is Spurs hosting Newcastle. 4-game lineup next Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with Chelsea hosting Brighton. Leeds welcome in Brentford, while Fulham go to Sunderland. Then at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time next Sunday, Manchester United host Ipswich. Week 2 ends on Monday night with Arsenal traveling to Aston Villa. Arsenal playing on Friday and then having to play again till Monday. They'll go to Villa Park next Monday, August the 31st. So that is how the Premier League season has gotten underway. La Liga, of course, got their season officially underway last week, but big names didn't play last week, but they certainly did this week. La Liga has had a good second week of their season, which started yesterday with Sevilla beating Athletic 3-1, but it was Real Madrid and Espanyol. You heard it here on the channel. Jude Bellingham scored early in the 9th minute to put Real Madrid ahead. Espanyol equalized in the first half, and it looked like it might end 1-1, but Carlos Espy scored in the 90th minute to break Espanyol hearts to Real Madrid. A 2-1 winner. That was yesterday in La Liga. Today, Atletico Madrid currently hold a 1-0 lead. Second half on Villarreal. 59th minute goal has put Atletico Madrid ahead. Later today, Getafe takes on Racing. Then Barcelona are at Elche in the rest of the La Liga lineup here today. And also along the realm of sports today, it is the final round of the BMW Championship at Bellerive Country Club in St. Louis. Wyndham Clark is in the final pairing with Rory McIlroy. That'll be fireworks. Clark at 17 under has a 5-shot lead on both McIlroy and Patrick Cantlay. Gary Woodland is also in the race to win this one, along with Chris Gotterup and Colin Morikawa. Final round of the BMW Championship, the second leg of the FedEx Cup playoff. Major League Baseball, last night we brought you Phillies and Cardinals on the channel. The Phillies really pounced on the Cards, beat the Redbirds 12-3. The Orioles scored another win, this time a walk-off in 10 innings over Tampa Bay. The Angels crucially beat the Rangers 3-0. The Astros, also at the top of the AL West, they lost to the Athletics 4-3. The Mets beat the White Sox in Chicago. The Red Sox scored a home win at Fenway over the Giants. Royals knocked over the Tigers. The Mariners beat the Cubs. Dodgers came from a 3-0 deficit to beat the Pirates 4-3. Cleveland won in Colorado. Cincinnati beat Arizona 11-5 despite J.J. Bleday hitting for the cycle. The Padres beat the Twins. Today, baseball begins at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, about an hour from now, with 4 early games: the Cardinals and Phillies, Rays, Orioles, Blue Jays, Yankees, and Nationals, Marlins. Tonight, the Little League Classic from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Atlanta at Milwaukee, 2 of the best teams in Major League Baseball. We'll have baseball coverage for you this week on the channel. Monday night, we've got the Cubs and the Diamondbacks from Arizona at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then at the same time, 9:30 on Tuesday night, we'll have the Phillies in Seattle to take on the Mariners. The Phillies are getting closer and closer to Atlanta at the top of the National League East as play begins today in Major League Baseball. The wild card race in the American League, the Yankees and Red Sox pretty safe. Texas currently holds the final wild card spot with a record of 64-66. They and Cleveland are tied for that final wild card spot. They're each half a game ahead of Toronto, 1 up on Minnesota and Baltimore, 2 up on Seattle. In the National League, the Cubs have the first wild card spot. The Phillies have the second one, 2 games ahead. Then you've got San Diego holding that last wild card spot by 2 games on Arizona, 4 on Miami, 4.5 on St. Louis, 7.5 on Pittsburgh. For division titles, we talked about Philadelphia closing in on Atlanta in the National League East. That's just a 3-game margin between those two. Milwaukee now 7 up on Chicago in the Central. Dodgers are ahead of the Padres by 9 in the West. In the American League, Tampa's lead on the Yankees just 3.5 separate the White Sox and the Guardians at the top of the Central. And in the West, Houston at 65-65, 1 game up on Texas, 3 up on Seattle. WNBA action last night. The Liberty beat the Fever 109-102, high-scoring game. Kelsey Mitchell scored 20-plus again. That's what she always does. She scored 25, but Brianna Stewart had 22 points to go along with 7 assists. The Liberty knocked off the Fever. Sparks beat the Sun 77-68. 20 points from Ray Burrell, leading Los Angeles to the win. Nneka Ogwumike had 11 rebounds. The Dream went on the road to Phoenix, beat the Mercury 99-89. Angel Reese with another good performance, 31 points on 14 of 21 shooting. She also had 14 rebounds, leading Atlanta to the victory. WNBA lineup today, starting at 4 with the Storm and the Wings in Dallas. The Fever take on the Sky in Chicago. The Mystics are in Portland. The Aces are in Toronto. College football season starts a week from yesterday, and we'll have action for you to start the season. Week 0, of course, next Saturday from Charlottesville, Virginia. NC State takes on Virginia. That's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Saturday. Also going along on the Saturday lineup will be North Carolina and TCU. They, of course, play in Dublin, Ireland. USC plays host to San Jose State. North Dakota State, who's now up on the FBS level, hosts Jacksonville State. Stanford hosts Hawaii. New Mexico State's at Florida State. Memphis is at UNLV. That is how the college football season starts next Saturday. Little League Baseball World Series elimination games. Henderson, Nevada beat Tacoma, Washington already today. You've got Tijuana, Mexico leading Nicaragua 3-0 in the 4th inning. Later today, Davenport, Iowa takes on Bayonne, New Jersey. You'll also have Korea taking on Curacao. Major League Soccer yesterday, big list of games. Montreal and LA Galaxy played to a 2-2 draw. Charlotte beat DC United 3-1. Cincinnati and Seattle played to a 1-1 draw. Lionel Messi's Inter Miami losing to Toronto 2-1. Orlando a 2-1 winner over Real Salt Lake. New York Red Bulls and Chicago Fire played to a 1-1 draw. High-scoring game between Nashville and Columbus. It was Nashville winning 3-2. St. Louis over Houston 2-1. Philadelphia and Austin played 1-1. Vancouver raced past Dallas 5-0. LAFC and Portland played to a draw 1-1. San Diego over Colorado 3-0. Minnesota over San Jose 5-1. Later today on the channel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, that's the scheduled airtime. If Mother Nature cooperates, it's the NASCAR Cup Series from Loudon, New Hampshire, the Dollar Tree 301, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, right after our coverage of Newcastle and Liverpool. Of course, that race was moved up by an hour to try to avoid some difficult weather forecast, and that is still ongoing. But we'll see how the weather works. Hopefully it'll work out well for us up in New England. And hopefully we'll go racing at the Magic Mile later today. Again, that's a scheduled airtime of 2 p.m., but we might not go on. If it's raining and we're going to be in a delayed start, we might not go on at 2 p.m. So that is what is coming up. But coming up in the immediate here is the second half between Liverpool and Newcastle. Liverpool has not lost a Premier League game to Newcastle in 11 years. Can they avoid defeat today? Second half is underway. Liverpool on the ball. And charging forward up this left-hand side is Kirkesh. Kirkesh to the left of the D. Stops, twirls, hands it off. Cody Gakpo sprints into the middle of the field. Corkscrews and hands it off for Gravenberch. Gravenberch handles. Feeds it into the penalty area. Gakpo in from the left with a shot. That's blocked, and it's out for what will be a Liverpool corner. So corner for Liverpool as they get the second half started very quickly indeed. And here's Szoboszlai over by the near flag. Puts his left arm in the air. Szoboszlai, a right-footed delivery towards the near post. It got flicked to the far post, and there's all sorts of scrambling. And a quick hand from Hornacek. It came out to the top of the box, and Newcastle's away. And here come the Magpies. They scored already on a counter, and here they come flowing up the middle. It's played out wide on the left-hand side. Yohan Wissa into the penalty area from the left. Hands it off. Alenga cuts in. It's taken away by Gravenberch and steered out of danger. So Liverpool will bring it back the other direction. And here they come again. Here's Gamoa from the right of the penalty area, and that ball fizzed in. Sean Sturr with the defensive header away. Newcastle will reset. By the way, you have not heard from JT today. He was at a racetrack today. He is sending me all kinds of messages about stuff that he's done. How are you doing this at a racetrack or in a vehicle? Here's Wissa the other direction. Chipped a ball into the left of the penalty area. Osula from the left of the 6. Turns it back. Inside pressure here, and that ball cut back, and it was Van Dijk who got it away. It come to the top of the box. Miley shoots high and off target. I would love to know how in the world JT is keeping up with all of this and doing all of this, whether he's still at, Thruxton, or in a vehicle, or what, but, you know, JT has no limits. Liverpool restart play. And ball sent to the halfway line and a foul committed by Dedic. 15 fouls in the first half, and there were 4 bookings as well. Talked about how this fixture is almost always emotionally charged. There's a lot of goals that's always scored between these two. The goal by Alenga in the 5th minute was the 201st all-time Premier League goal scored in a Liverpool-Newcastle fixture. This is the 65th time they've met in the Premier League. Liverpool ball off a throw on the far side. Gravenberch will roll it back for Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk delivers it back to Allison. Liverpool now attacking from our right to our left in this second half. Famous red shirts, white numbers, white nameplates, red shorts, red socks. Gravenberch on the inside left channel just shy of the halfway line. Diagonals it ahead. Kirkesh up the near side. Gets it on a return. Kirkesh cuts inside, then stumbles, staggered back to it, tried to hand it off for Gakpo, taken away instead by Dedic. And Newcastle will clear. Wissa on the right touchline. Got behind Gravenberch, who pulls him down. They play on, do they? Yes, Gravenberch's made the tackle. Legal, according to Stuart Atwell, and Gravenberch's got it. Skips back the other direction. Wissa picks himself up off the floor. Gravenberch lays it out wide on the right-hand side. Frimpong then for Gamoa. Gamoa, the 17-year-old, hits the accelerator right of the penalty area, tries to cycle his way around Lewis Hall. He does. Then he plays it back. Soboslai, right of the D, squares it back. Here's Van Dijk playing further up than he has been. Oh, and then an off-target pass from Van Dijk inaccurately to the left-hand side, looking for Gakpo, who's hobbling a bit. And it'll be a Newcastle throw. Apparently he's doing it from his mobile phone. I'm reading off all of these scores during halftime, and he's telling me there's coming up graphics. Please, every time I hit a button over here, everything buffered and lagged like crazy. Kidding me? Throw coming for Newcastle. I don't have the button pressing skills that JT does. Dedic will throw in just in front of the Newcastle technical area. Defensive header away by Van Dijk. Dropped in the middle of the field for Wirtz. It comes to Soboslai, who gets an outlet ahead for Frimpong, and Frimpong has a lot of speed to burn. Here he is, out wide on the right-hand side. On the overlap, he found Gamoa. Gamoa tried to return it to Frimpong, who was racing inside the penalty area from the right, but the pass goes too far beyond him. That's over the inline goal kick. Matthias Ysla, first game as the Newcastle boss, and his team out to an early lead that they have protected in the 45 minutes since. Long ball sent forward by Hornicek, headed on by Alenga, then back out by Osula. It'll be a Liverpool throw. Second half just underway. Newcastle holding the lead that they got in the 5th minute from Anthony Alenga. Kirkesh throws in a dribbling ball up the near touchline that Gakpo controls. Wonderful bit of change of direction from Gakpo, who was being held back. That's a foul. Free kick coming. Midfield free kick by Van Dijk. Rolled out to his right for Jacquet. Jacquet angles it back on the near left side. Wirtz then for Van Dijk again. Virgil van Dijk trying to find some space. Puts it up the middle. Wirtz angles out wide to his left. Plays it up the left touchline. Kirkesh squares ball. Left of the D. Trying to find space. Gakpo curls one. It's just high. Oh, it's just high. It has not missed by much at all. From Cody Gakpo, who bent it. Trying for the top right corner. Nearly put it right where he targeted. Goal kick. Put long. Off a body. Ricochets to the far side. Frimpong nudged it forward. It'll go out, and Harvey Barnes will take a quick Newcastle throw. All the way back to Hornicek it comes. Hornicek plays it with his feet. Out to his right for Malik Chow. Neither team made a halftime substitution. Here's Sven Botman. Sprints up the left-hand side, approaching the halfway line. Tried to pass it forward. That's easily intercepted by Zoboslai. And then he'll put it back to Allison, and a restart for Liverpool. Virgil van Dijk begins the pilgrimage back upfield. Van Dijk ahead at the halfway line. Wirtz spears a ball in the middle. Here's Gakpo with Miley closing in on him. Gakpo lays it out to the right. Frimpong cuts the ball back to the penalty spot for Isak, defended away by Chow. Back to the halfway line for Jacquet. Liverpool will start again here. Can almost feel a Liverpool goal coming here. Can they find an equalizer? Here's Gakpo, right of the D. Long range attempt! He's pinned it in! And there is the equalizer that you could feel coming! And what a goal that is from Cody Gakpo! He has harpooned it in! in the bottom corner. Not much Hornacek could do about that. And Cody Gakpo is off the mark for the 2026-27 campaign. And so too is Liverpool. It's 1-1. Game on. Plenty of time to go in this one. It's a fixture that always creates goals, creates drama, sometimes even controversy. Maybe more of all of that to come. 1-1 here at St. James's Park. Cody Gakpo had 2 goals in his career against Newcastle, including one here at St. James's Park in February of 2023. He's got another one. And Newcastle have been pegged back. And now changes to be made by Newcastle. Sean Sturr coming off. Jacob Ramsey will come on for him. And Joe Willock has also come on. He's replaced William Osula, who of course had a late equalizer for Newcastle against Liverpool last year. He won't have a late goal against them here today. He's been subbed off. Brand new ball game here. 1-1, and Liverpool's on the ball, and here's Gakpo again. Confidence flowing through his veins as he swirls it back. Gravenberch out wide to the right. Szoboszlai, Frimpong. Far touchline is Gamoa. Top right corner of the penalty area. Switches right foot to left. He jockeys a Newcastle defender. Played back again for Szoboszlai. Now Frimpong. Gamoa right of the D. Top of the box. Gamoa on his left foot tries a shot that ping-ponged off of bodies. Awkward clearance. It comes to the top of the box, nearly to the penalty spot. Gakpo tried to spear a left-footed shot. Didn't get a lot underneath it. And Newcastle's able to clear. As far as Van Dijk. And now a reload for Szoboszlai. Newcastle on their heels a bit here. Jacob Ramsey just on defending Szoboszlai, who's able to twist it up the right-hand side. Verts takes Miley in deep. Back to the top right corner of the penalty area. Skipping right of the D. Isak leaves it. Gravenberch, long-range attempt blocked. Ricochets back to him. He had a tough time picking it up and could not steer it to a target. And here comes Newcastle the other way out of a pile of players. It's Wissa charging forward. He's got Alenga to his right. More support to his left. Wissa gives it up. Edge of the box. A shot on the counter, and they've scored again on the counter! Newcastle get their lead right back! Joe Willock has not been on for very long, but he's made a huge difference! Incredible! Newcastle again on the counter! And they have grabbed the lead back in fine fashion. Well, you could feel the Liverpool equalizer coming. I'm not sure you could have felt such a quick response coming from Liverpool, but there it is. Wissa was able to weasel out of a pile of players, and he had Alenga to his right, and you thought it would be those two, but then Joe Willock came in support outside of Wissa, and that's where the pass went to. And Joe Willock has barely been on the field, but he has just fired Newcastle back to the front. That is Joe Willock's first Premier League goal since February of 2024 at Arsenal. Liverpool kickoff. And it is most certainly game on now with about a half hour left. A takeaway on the far side. And Newcastle are charging forward again. Up the left-hand side. Lewis Hall hands it off. It's taken away. It's taken away by Gamoa. And he is fouled. Free kick taken extremely quickly by Szoboszlai. And here comes Liverpool. In space on the left-hand side, Florian Wirtz, square ball, too far ahead of Gakpo, knifed away by Dedic, recovered by Miley. And Newcastle will try to slow things down perhaps just a bit. Jacob Ramsey skipping away from Weerts. His outlet for Hall. Kept away from him by Frimpong. It pinballs around. Gravenberg's got it 40 yards from goal. Lasers it out to his left. Weerts to Gakpo. Top left corner of the penalty area. Gakpo cuts in. Shuffles the ball left of the D. It's on to Kirkash. He cuts out wide. Left of the area. Left-footed ball to the back post. No red shirt there. Dealt with by Ramsey. Back out left of the D. Gakpo tries to curl a long-range attempt. This one's wildly off target. And it looks like Liverpool's about to make their first changes of the match here shortly. Newcastle fans in full song here. An hour played at St. James's Park. And a stirring start to the game. A stirring start to the second half as well. It's 2-1. And as Newcastle restart play, the ball's taken away by Jacquet. Two defenders surround him. Jacquet taken down by Barnes. It's a foul. Free kick coming up here for Liverpool in their own territory. Behind immediately after drawing level. Soboslai's ball forward took a deflection. He tries to run it back down, but it spins away, and Newcastle have it. It's Alenga in the center circle. He's located Willock. Willock places it out wide on the left-hand side. Newcastle are ahead. Alenga left of the penalty area. Cut it back, but no one was home on the back post. It'll run all the way to the near touchline, and Kirkash will pick it up. Here's Kirkash. Loads of space on the left-hand side. Crosses the halfway line. Now stops, looks for options. Spun back Gravenberg. Given inside left channel Gakpo. Gakpo moves forward. He's 30 yards from goal. Out wide to his left. Hands it off for Weerts. Served back for Kirkash. Into the middle for Gravenberg. Gravenberg looks forward. Newcastle defenders start to close in. Flicked on for Weerts. Miley took it away. Newcastle ball. Hitting the accelerator, Alenga. Forwarded on for Miley. Alenga's making a run up the middle. Miley tried to lift it back to him. Kept away from him by Van Dijk. Comes to Allison. Rolled out a bit lazily to his right for Frimpong. Barnes defends. Frimpong banks it out off of him. Barnes gets applause from the Newcastle crowd. Liverpool set to make substitutions here. Victor Munoz is coming on, and so too is Alexis McAllister. So Munoz, who signed with the club 2 months ago, played in Spain, his native Spain, last year at Osasuna and scored 6 times in La Liga. He comes on. Gamoa coming off. 17-year-old that was a hero last year in this fixture. Comes off early. Weerts is also off. He's the one that comes off for McAllister. So Weerts and Gamoa exit. McAllister and Munoz come in. Of course, no Hugo Ekitike for Liverpool for what will be about the first half of the season. After he ruptured his Achilles in April, he led the team in scoring last year, both in the league and in all competitions. He scored 11 times in the league, 17 goals in total. Newcastle with a throw-in on the far side. Comes to the halfway line. And it's flexed on to the near touchline. Dedic, though, couldn't handle it. Van Dijk erased it. Gakpo out into the middle of the field, taken down from behind on a challenge from Dedic. They play on here apparently now. Yeah, very good. Stuart Atwell's stop play. He was trying to play advantage for as long as he could, but it became impossible to do that. But Liverpool start quickly here. And here they come again, and in towards the penalty area from the right, and staggering down. Ramsey with a challenge. He's just been given a yellow card. That was on a challenge from outside the penalty area. The ball ended up in the penalty area on a pass by Isak, but Isak was taken down by Ramsey, and that's where the foul has come from. It's a yellow card to Jacob Ramsey. Liverpool will have a free kick. Dangerous spot again. That'll mean it's Dominic Szoboszlai territory. Ramsey's been booked, 5th yellow card of this match. Szoboszlai over the ball, inside right channel. He's only 25 yards away from goal, or thereabouts. Scored off of 4 direct free kicks last year. What can he do here? Will he go for goal from this angle, or will he serve a ball in? As we click over into the 66th minute. Szoboszlai, right-footed delivery. Came to Van Dijk, who was able to just guide it on goal, easily stopped by the 2 hands of Hornacek. Hornacek will hurl it away up the far side on a long throw that Hall could not handle. Liverpool take the throw. They've trailed for the majority of this game. They made it 1-1, but that was short-lived. After Gakpo's brilliant goal, Joe Willock put Newcastle back in front. And here's Gakpo racing up the inside left channel. He's in behind Chow. Gakpo into the box from the left. Tried to cut from left foot to right and lost the ball. And Newcastle will clear it away. He tried to change his handle and he lost it completely. Cleared away only as far as McAllister. Angled it out wide on the right. Munoz, sharp angled shot blocked by Hall. Munoz will track it back down on the far flag. Here he is from the right of the penalty area. Lewis Hall in front of him. The ball in towards Isak. It never got to him, the Liverpool number 9. Instead, it's Wissa, the Newcastle number 9, who will charge ahead. Filtered forward for Alenga. Wissa's now making a run up the middle. Alenga's out wide on the right. Wissa stops his run. Alenga holds up play. Splintered ball into the middle for Ramsey. Lays it out to his left. From the left of the D, Ramsey gets it back on a quick return from Barnes. Now out wide is Willock. Left of the penalty area. 2 defenders in front of him. One is Munoz. One is Frimpong. Cycles it back Hall. Top left corner of the box, Ramsey. Towards the middle, Miley. Newcastle starting to backpedal. Now Miley a forward ball. Hall left of the penalty area. His ball in. Oh, it just missed Wissa across the face of goal. It rolls to the end line. Stays in play. Alenga's got it right of the penalty area. 5th minute goal scorer. Left foot to right. Top right corner of the penalty area. It's Dedic. The return for Alenga. Alenga and Newcastle continue to probe. Alenga gives it up. He'll get it on a quick return from Miley. Alenga right of the D. Left-footed curled shot. It bounced into the arms of a diving out to his right Allison. That was a terrific ball in. And Wissa. It just needed the most subtle of touches. It just went past him and across the face. Could have been 3-1. But action has most certainly picked up now. No doubt about that. Liverpool on the ball with Gravenberch. Up the right-hand side, Munoz. Gravenberch on the return. Now for Isak. Out wide on the right for Frimpong. Munoz is there to get an outlet. He does. Frimpong squares it. McAllister just on as a substitute. Now Munoz serves a ball in. High floater. It lands to Gakpo, top of the 6. Then he cuts it back, and Isak tries a left-footed shot, and that's way off target over the crossbar, and that'll get a big howl from the Newcastle supporters to see him miss like that. Thought Gakpo may have had chance to shoot. Instead, his first touch was to pull it away from Dedic and drag it back to Isak from straight away, and then just shot it high. Play restarts. Newcastle on the ball. Halfway line near side. Miley threads it forward. Alenga trying to make a run for it. Kirkesh is there, but Alenga's gotten to it. From the right of the penalty area, Anthony Alenga slides it edge of the box. Gets it on a quick return from Willock. Now it's Willock with it again. His right-footed ball served in is blocked. It's out for a corner. McAllister got in the way of it. Another substitution here for Liverpool. Jacquet coming off. Ronald Araujo comes on for him. 21-year-old Jacquet comes off. Araujo of Uruguay, who's played for such a long time with Barcelona. He's on a season-long loan from Barcelona to Liverpool. He's a 3-time La Liga champion with Barcelona, scored 3 times in that league a year ago. Araujo is on. It's not a corner for Newcastle. It's a throw-in coming from Dedic from the right of the penalty area. Throws it in. Willock tried to play it to the back post. Allison punched it out. It came back to the top of the box, and a left-footed shot is dragged wide. Oh, wasn't the worst of efforts there. As the first ball in from Willock tested Allison, and as he punched it, came to the top of the box for Ramsey to take it on a left-footed volley. Just wide. Long from Allison. Headed down by Miley. Up in the air by Willock. And he grabs and fouls McAllister, who then throws him back down in response of that. And Willock shrugs away the helping hand of Virgil van Dijk. 25 combined fouls now in this game. 14 committed by Newcastle, 11 by Liverpool. Liverpool take a free kick deep in their own territory. They've got to get forward here. Frimpong hands it off on the far touchline. Got it back from Gravenberch, then rolled it all the way to Allison. Restart for Van Dijk. Out to his right now for Araujo, who just came on from the right of the center circle, crosses the halfway line. He lifts a switch ball to the left. That's way over the head of Kirkesh. Inside the last 20 of the 90. Dedic throws in for Liverpool. That throw-in was challenged by Gakpo. It goes off of Miley and out, but they're saying, I guess it's gone off Gakpo last. So it's a Newcastle throw. Thrown in towards Wisa. McAllister draped over him. Wisa was able to brush it back for Ramsey. Guided out wide on the left-hand side, Lewis Hall. Crosses the halfway line. Munoz in front of him defensively. A lateral ball back to Ramsey. Ramsey from the left of the center circle. Then Hall was able to squeeze an outlet forward. It's returned to him on a one-touch. Now it's for Willock. Kept away from him. Swept back by Araujo. Liverpool try to get forward. Gravenberch stabbed away from Willock. Comes up the far side. Munoz across the halfway line. Outside of him is Frimpong. Munoz moving towards the middle of the field, tried to cut it back edge of the D. It came for Gakpo. He lays it on left of the box. It's sent across by Kirkesh, and it misses his targets on the back post. It's out for what'll be a goal kick. It's not a terrible ball from Kirkesh there, who reacted to that Gakpo pass. It's the right idea. He hasn't served it up perfectly to Isak on the back post, but it wasn't a million miles away from him either. Goal kick taken by Hornicek. Frimpong heads it forward. Munoz chests it down. Gravenberch gallops it ahead. Puts it into the middle for Szoboszlai, who gets to it from the left of the D. Dominic Szoboszlai changes left foot to right. Hands it off for Gravenberch. It's dealt with by Lewis Hall, who was quickly to it. He pounds it away. Allison steers it back forward. Araujo. Forward for McAllister. Middle of the field, Szoboszlai. 30 yards from goal. Return for McAllister. Turned back for Van Dijk. Dealt on for Araujo. Inside right channel. Then for Frimpong. Right touchline. Jeremy Frimpong with it. Stands like a statue. Gives for Gravenberch. One touched back to Frimpong. He plays it back. Allison was late arriving to this all the way out in the center circle, but he keeps it from Wisa. Plays it for Arojo. Cuts it across the green, knifed on Frimpong. Forward ball, Munoz the substitute. Munoz into the 75th minute is from the right of the penalty area. He wanted to pump a ball in. Hall got in front of him. It's back to Frimpong. He's got Gravenberch to his left. He'll hand it off that way. Back out wide, Victor Munoz again. From the right of the penalty spot, he takes on Barnes on his left foot, serves the ball in along the ground. It misses a cutting Frimpong, and it's out for a goal kick. Another substitution coming for Newcastle. It looks like Jacob Murphy is about to come in here. Let's put the number 23 shirt on. He's one of the longest-running Newcastle players. He's been with the club for 9 years now. Scored 3 times in the league last season. He's made over 200 Premier League appearances with Newcastle. Long by Hornacek. Szoboszlai couldn't grab it, and Wisa instead does, and now Szoboszlai knocks him over. Topples over Wisa. That's a foul. Quarter of an hour left in this game. Newcastle is just that close to getting their first league win over Liverpool since December 2015. Say that Jacob Murphy's about to come on. It looks like it might be a double change for Newcastle. It is. Murphy is coming on. Also is Bamba. And it's Anthony Elanga who's going to come off here. The guy that started the scoring on that counter-attack in the 5th minute. Anthony Elanga comes off. And also Lewis Miley comes off. Elanga and Miley off. Murphy and Bamba comes on. Alaji Bamba signed in July, 5-year deal worth £34 million, played last season at Monaco. As a free kick coming here, Lewis Hall right of the D with the left foot, dinks it in. Defensive header back out by Liverpool. Ball ricochets towards the top of the center circle. Newcastle still in command of the possession here. On this near side, it's Hall at the halfway line. Pressure comes from Szoboszlai. Pressure comes from Isak. It's played back to Hornacek, the goalkeeper in yellow. And he will flare a long ball right up the middle. It's headed towards Wisa, and he just couldn't control it. It's off his chest and into the arms of Allison. Van Dijk starts it forward. Kirkesh back to Van Dijk again. Still time for Liverpool. We know what they did to score the winner here at St. James's last year. 100th minute goal from Rio Gamoa, who's already been subbed off here. If they are to have another late hero at Newcastle, it'll have to be someone else. Frimpong on the right touch line. Back to Gravenberch. Now Frimpong again, then for Isak. Threaded back to Gravenberch. He goes to the outside of Ramsey. Gravenberch, top right corner of the box, hands it off. Frimpong's ball in. That was speared away by Hall. Frimpong got to it in the air. Munoz through traffic. Shot it off a body. There's appeals for a handball. It's cleared out on the far side by the Newcastle defense. It'll be a throw as it's just by the corner flag. It'll be a throw rather than a corner. It was appeals for handball, but it looked like it went off of Malik Chow's left thigh. Perhaps a long throw coming here. Another Liverpool change coming. It looks like Gravenberch is coming off. Yep, Gravenberch comes off. Lewis Comas replaces him. Not sure many people I don't think many people thought we'd see him on the pitch today. It's a long throw in towards the penalty spot in the direction of Van Dijk. Newcastle have dealt with it. There's a Liverpool body down, and play has stopped. It's Murphy collided into someone. It was McAllister. Yeah, Murphy clattered into McAllister. He went down. And Murphy has been given a yellow card for that. Free kick for Liverpool here. By the time it'll be taken, we'll click over into the 80th minute. Lewis Kumas, as I mentioned, just came on, 20-year-old from Chester, England. And here's Szoboszlai over this ball that's about 25 yards away from goal, just left of center. 4, make it 5 in the wall for Newcastle. They're all bunched up right in front of Szoboszlai, who will gun it right-footed. It's off the wall, off of Botman, straight up into the air. Where will it drop? On the penalty spot. It's then sent sky high again. Bodies hit the deck. It comes right of the D. Ball scooped forward. We've got a whistle to blow play dead. There's a lot of sumo wrestling going on as that ball not once but twice went so high it may have pierced a cloud. And in the end, Araujo took down a black and white striped shirt, and that's what led to the foul. 80 minutes complete. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Newcastle have not beaten Liverpool in the Premier League since the 6th of December 2015. It's a 19-match run in league play without losing to Newcastle that Liverpool is trying to keep going here. They've got 10 minutes plus stoppage time to at least get an equalizer to keep that from being snapped. Long ball ahead. Ramsey pulls it down. Hall on the far touchline. Kept it away from Isak. And Newcastle possess in their own territory. All the way back, it'll go to Hornacek. He'll sweep his right boot through it. Long up the middle. Wisa going to try to run it down. Liverpool calling for an offside flag to be up. Eventually, it has come up. Wisa was offside. Haven't had many flags gone up today, which is quite lovely. Free kick taken quickly. Van Dijk back to Alisson. Have Liverpool run out of options? Or are they saving it for the end? For another piece of theatrics in a Liverpool-Newcastle fixture. Van Dijk up the left touchline. Kirkash cuts to the inside of Dedic. Hands it off for Gakpo, who scored that terrific goal for Liverpool to make it 1-1. His ball filtered forward is too far for his target. It's out of play. It's a Newcastle throw, and hope is growing ever shorter as every second and every minute counts down for the Liverpool supporters. They have not lost a Premier League season opener in a long time. They've won they have won 10 of their last 13 Premier League openers. They haven't lost one in 14 years. It was in the 55th minute when Gakpo scored to make it 1-1, and less than 2 minutes later, Joe Willock struck right back for Newcastle to put the Magpies back in front. Liverpool ball here. Frimpong ahead. Up the right touchline. Here he comes. Feeds Munoz right of the penalty area. Tries to get around Hall, but Hall's done well to hold his ground over there. And that ball's out for a goal kick. Lewis Hall has played well today, the 21-year-old on the back line. And Lukasz Hornacek has another goal kick. Hornacek will send it long. Of course, Hornacek put in goal rather than Nick Pope. Pope's future at Newcastle seems to be pretty uncertain at this point. As it's back to Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper. He's been Liverpool #1 for a long, long time, of course. Let's see what this possession looks like for Liverpool, who need to find an equalizer, as you see, in the next 6.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Here's Gakpo, left of the D. 2 defenders turning back. It's pushed back for Kirkash. Then to Gakpo again. Left of the center circle, a reversal for Van Dijk. Directed for Araujo, the substitute from Uruguay. He's got it here in Newcastle territory. Flared out wide for Szoboszlai. Return comes to the captain, Van Dijk. He'll test this left-hand side again with the ball sorted on for Kirkash. Then Gakpo, cycled on Van Dijk. Araujo, some 50 yards away from goal. Diagonals right. Szoboszlai, Frimpong, far touchline, right of the penalty area, taking on Barnes, opens up to the end line. Frimpong's ball across. Isak's header is a high looping ball, easily gotten underneath of and grabbed by Hornacek. Talk about the drama that this fixture has created in the past. It would be quite dramatic if Isak were to factor in a late Liverpool equalizer. Long ball by Hornacek, headed on by Wissa, far touchline out of play. Liverpool throw taken quickly. Tossed in by Araujo. Back to Allison. Bowled ahead. Van Dijk will send it long. Sprays it too far for Gakpo on the left-hand side. Out for a Newcastle throw. 85 minutes complete at St. James's Park. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Newcastle to take this throw just shy of the halfway line. In by Dedic. Scoop forward. Wissa's in behind. Wissa takes a touch. He's in on his right foot. His shot saved by Allison. Allison parries it away. Van Dijk sweeps it back forward. Szoboszlai will launch it long up the right-hand side. Munoz has found it. Munoz into the area from the right. On his right foot. His shot blocked by Botman, who went sliding. Munoz to try to track it back down by the far flag. He does. Against Hall. Curls at top of the box. Helped on to McAllister. Dealt back up the middle. Kirkash. Backpedaling and a reset for Liverpool. They just avoided disaster there with Wissa in behind. Now Frimpong. Right touch line. Angled Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai inside right channel. Dribbles to his left, middle of the field, served on Van Dijk, directed to Gakpo, top left corner of the box. Gakpo to hoist the ball in. It was in the direction of Munoz, who pushed down Hall from behind. That's a foul. All of that leads to nothing for Liverpool. And you're starting to get into territory where the Reds are going to need some real late dramatics. They might not be out of options, but they are starting to run out of time. Long by Hornacek. Headed down to the halfway line of the far side. Lewis Hall is to it for Newcastle. Elevates it back into the Liverpool half. Araujo heads it forward. McAllister comes away with it. Cycled on for Van Dijk, shy of the halfway line. This way, Kirkash. Forwarded on for Gakpo. Advanced up the left touch line. Handled by Lewis Kumis, the 20-year-old. Chipped ball in. Kirkash into the box from the left, and he is shepherded out by Malik Chow, who got between he and the ball. That's well done by Chow. Goal kick. Of course, last year it was a 100th minute winner for Liverpool here at St. James's Park from a teenager. Lewis Kumis, not quite a teenager anymore. He's just turned 20 this year, but some youth perhaps to come up with more late dramatics for Liverpool against Newcastle. He's won the ball here in an aerial duel in the middle of the field. Away from Bamba, he sprints out wide to the right. Bamba's tried to pull him back. Kumis, fancy footwork. Handoff Frimpong. He wasn't ready to receive it. Hall's taking it away. Newcastle trying to clear from the left of their penalty area. Pressure comes from Munoz as we click over into the penultimate minute of the 90. Liverpool possess at the halfway line. Araujo ahead. Szoboszlai ball forward. Deflection from Willock. Taken away. Willock's got the winner as it stands now. Here he is up the left-hand side. Frimpong jockeys him. Willock cycles it into the middle. Harvey Barnes angles it out wide to the right. Top right corner of the penalty area. It's Jacob Murphy. Cuts from left to right. Murphy in tight. Turns it across to the back post. No one home. As it goes past Willock, it goes past Wissa. It goes out of play. Liverpool throw, and they've got to do everything that they do now. From here on out has to be quick. As you see, bottom right of your screen, match week 1 comes to a close tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time here on the channel. Fulham and Chelsea. Liverpool have the ball in the middle of the field, but Isak's had it knifed away, and Murphy has been able to toss it back into the Newcastle half for Dedic. Bodies are on the ground in the middle of the field, but the ball's all the way back to Hornacek in the Newcastle goal. 90th minute underway here. Newcastle leading 2-1. They have not beaten Liverpool in the league in 11 years. Van Dijk just hip-checked Wissa. Advantage played as Willock comes up the middle. Willock edge of the box. Chopped away from him. It comes back to the left of the D for a shot that goes off a body. It ricochets back to Wissa. Stabbed away by Van Dijk. It's out by the near corner flag. It'll be a throw. Newcastle fans, get loud. And Stuart Atwell looks like he might have had someone speaking to him in his ear. Are they checking something, perhaps? Before play gets started, it'll be a Newcastle throw over by the far flag, and before it gets started back, 90 minutes will be complete. And it's 5 minutes that's been added on. Murphy will throw this in over by the near flag. Murphy's throw into the penalty area, headed away by Van Dijk, dropped on the near touchline. Gakpo guided it on. 20-year-old Lewis Comas has space. Comas is into the penalty area from the left with Newcastle trying to backpedal back, and Comas takes a left-footed shot and it's blocked. It's a corner. It was Van Dijk who got the yellow card from the previous scramble, and Lewis Comas found space somehow. Corner for Liverpool. Szoboszlai to deliver. He directs traffic, tries to get everyone set where he wants them. He puts his left arm in the air. Szoboszlai, right-footed delivery. Hornacek gets out with a punch. It comes outside the box. Frimpong from the right of the D. Cuts left. His long-range left-footed shot into traffic blocked. Ricochets back to Jacob Murphy, who tries to sprint to safety. It's out of play on the far side. It'll be a Liverpool throw for Frimpong to take. Thrown in. Kirkesh in the center circle. Angles it out on the left for Dominic Szoboszlai, who factored in the late winner at St. James's Park last year. Fed on for Gakpo, top left corner of the box. Return for Szoboszlai, left of the D. Then for Gakpo again, left of the penalty area. On his right foot, he'll serve a ball in. Defensive header up in the air. Lands outside the penalty area. Steered on back for Kirkesh. Liverpool ball. Szoboszlai inside left channel, 30 yards from goal. Angles it near touchline. Taken on by Gakpo, the goal scorer from earlier. He's had it knocked away. He kept it from Dedic. Oh, and Gakpo's called for a foul. Dedic got in the way of Gakpo, who was trying to get deep, and then Gakpo threw him around to try to get the ball back. Gakpo's called for the foul. 2.5 of the 5 added minutes complete. Free kick will be taken by Hornacek from just outside the penalty area. Newcastle are nearly there. It has been such a turbulent summer for this club. They didn't have a manager as of just a few weeks back. Long from Hornacek. This will go keeper to keeper. Matthias Jaisla was not hired until August 5th. Not even 20 days in charge. And after such a turbulent summer, he might be leading them to a victory that Newcastle fans felt perhaps they would never see again. A league victory over Liverpool, who are in possession of the ball. It's not over yet. Frimpong out wide on the right. Turned back for Araujo. Then for Szoboszlai. Inside left channel. Kirkesh out wide on the left. Gakpo, is there magic left in one of his boots here? Left of the D, served a ball in, defensive header up by Bamba, the substitute. It lands back at Araujo, spun back for Frimpong, right of the area, taken on by Barnes. Frimpong, right foot to left foot to right. Frimpong wriggling free, trying to find space. Barnes sticks with him the whole time, can't get it away yet. Oh, or maybe he did. Frimpong. There's a whistle that's been blown. Frimpong's got his index finger in the air. He's shaking it towards Stuart Atwell. It's a foul on Frimpong. Newcastle will get it back, and they're going to make their final change here. Yohan Wissa coming off. Fabian Schär, the Newcastle veteran that's been with the club for 8 years, he'll come on, and he'll be on for only a few seconds by the looks of it. What a game from Wissa. Big standing ovation. Only moments until what would be an explosion of emotion from the Newcastle supporters. Long from Hornacek, far touchline. Then it'll bounce out of play. Liverpool have a throw. They've got to get forward quickly. Only seconds remaining, surely. Allison pushed it forward. Szoboszlai sent it long up the middle. Van Dijk makes a run towards it. He can't bring it down. Instead, it comes into the penalty area. Munoz clattered into. Down he goes. He was in the penalty area. He comes down. It's a penalty. Oh, my goodness. Can you possibly believe it? Munoz galloping towards the ball. Stepped inside the penalty area. And he stepped right into the path of Lewis Hall. And with over 5 minutes played in what the 5 minutes of stoppage time that was given were beyond that. It's a penalty to Liverpool with a chance to draw level with just about the last kick of the ball. And poor Lewis Hall, who has played a terrific game in the back for Newcastle. That is so cruel for him. And now, who's going to take this penalty for Liverpool? We talked about an explosion of emotion, and it has exploded, but in a different way than we were expecting. Newcastle were quite literally seconds away. And now Lukasz Hornacek is going to have to come up with a penalty save to give Newcastle this long-awaited win. And who will take this penalty for Liverpool? And so help us all if it's Alexander Isak. More late dramatics between Newcastle and Liverpool. This fixture rarely seems to disappoint. It's Dominik Szoboszlai who has the ball in his hands, and he's going to place the ball in the penalty spot. We're well past the 5 minutes that were added on, and with just about the last kick of the ball, Dominik Szoboszlai can save Liverpool and earn them a result to start their season. Dominik Szoboszlai of Hungary versus Lukasz Hornacek of Czechia. From the penalty spot, Szoboszlai to put a stake through the hearts of Newcastle United and all of their supporters. It'll be a right-footed attempt. Arms in the air from Hornacek. Szoboszlai strikes right-footed. Oh, he scores brilliantly! It's a terrific penalty, and it is an equalizer in the dying moments of this game for Liverpool. A perfect penalty into the top left corner just about broke the back of the net with it. And Dominic Szoboszlai has made it 2-2, and Newcastle have to be wondering what they have done to deserve this fate. Last year at St. James's Park, it was Liverpool scoring a winner in the 100th minute. Today at St. James's Park, from the penalty spot, it is an equalizer in the 99th minute. Newcastle kickoff. It's back to Hornacek. He'll send it long, but before it drops, the full-time whistle will blow. This game is over, and Liverpool, by the skin of their teeth, have won a point at St. James's Park. They still have not lost to Newcastle in the Premier League in 11 years. It's 20 straight league fixtures between these two since a Newcastle win. And Newcastle, the players, the supporters, they can't possibly even begin to fathom what has just happened. They were seconds away from victory. Seconds away. The clock had just crossed past the 5 minutes of time that was added on. A long ball was sprayed forward. It came off a Newcastle head backwards into the path of substitute Victor Munoz, who slid his way into the right side of the penalty area. He and Lewis Hall clattered into one another. They both went down. Stuart Atwell immediately pointed towards the spot. Dominic Szoboszlai rifles in his penalty into the top left corner past Łukasz Hornacek. And well past 90 minutes, Liverpool, with their second equalizer of the game, secure a result, secure a point. And the full-time score from St. James's Park, incredibly so, is Newcastle United 2, Liverpool 2. What an absolutely stunning finish. Stunning in every possible way, really. That is as wild as it gets. And for Newcastle, that is as heartbreaking as it gets. As we said, for a team that has had such a turbulent summer and off-season. Wow. It's going to be so hard to stomach. It is going to be so incredibly hard to stomach. My. Wow. Just wow. What more can you really say? You see the confirmation of the full-time score. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2, Anthony Elanga with a splendid counter-attack goal in the 5th minute. It then took 50 minutes for Liverpool to find an equalizer. Cody Gakpo with a special goal made it 1-1. It was only moments after that Joe Willock, who had only been on the pitch for moments as a substitute, scored to put Newcastle back in front in the blink of an eye. And then the chaos at the end, leading to a 99th minute penalty converted by Dominic Szoboszlai. And as we said right at the top, it's a cornerstone fixture of the Premier League. It always creates goals and drama, and it certainly did again today. So full time from St. James's Park. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2. Newcastle seconds away from a spectacular victory to start their season after such a terrible offseason, and now they will have to somehow find a way to put this behind them before they play next. Now, of course, it is a pretty quick turnaround for them because they do play an EFL Cup second-round game on Wednesday against West Bromwich Albion. Their next league game will be next Saturday away at Tottenham. For Liverpool, they'll play at Anfield for the first time this league season next Saturday against Nottingham Forest. And there's much work to do for Liverpool. They didn't play well today, but they get a point from it. Stunning turnaround at the end, and it finishes 2-2. Match week 1 of the Premier League season concludes tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time at Craven Cottage. Fulham host Chelsea. We will see you then for that. We'll see you here soon for NASCAR Cup Series racing at New Hampshire, the Dollar Tree 301, coming up with a scheduled airtime of 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That is, of course, if Mother Nature is cooperating. But NASCAR at New Hampshire is coming up next. For everyone here, for the best producer in the wide world of sports, JT, I am merely Matthew Owens. Once again, full-time at St. James's Park, Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2. We'll see you shortly for NASCAR in New England.